All right, here we go. Breaking news. The new AP Top 25 college football poll is out, and you knew there was going to be upheaval because there was a few wild scores. Georgia stays at 1. Texas does, in fact, vault Ohio State off their win against Michigan. They go at number 2. Alabama is 4. You see the rest of the group there. Obviously, Michigan has fallen, and we're going to get to see where Notre Dame has fallen. Michigan falls to 17. Notre Dame falls to 18. Utah, their quarterback gets injured, but they're right there at 12, but they did drop a spot off their game where they couldn't score much after an early lead against Baylor. And Oklahoma State's got all kinds of problems, too, potentially an injury front. They won in overtime against Arkansas. How about 21 through 25? Last chance for your team to be ranked if you haven't seen them as yet. Well, there's Clemson, who, they got blasted by Georgia week 1. Well, they took it out on App State. And Nebraska. Deion talked a big game before. Maybe get your team ready to play. They got walloped, and I mean walloped, physically whipped in Lincoln. All right, let's get our guys in. Logan Ryan, Douzable, Brad Crawford. Let's find out what's what. All right, Notre Dame, they're a top 5 team, and now they're not. I mean, you want to talk about giving away all that momentum, winning at Aggieland. They come home and lose to Northern Illinois. They go down to that, late teens. Brad, is that porridge putting them there? Too hot, too cold, or just right for you?
I'm not writing Notre Dame's eulogy just yet. I think it's okay for us to start on the intro, but the Fighting Irish can still make the playoff if they win out and finish 11-1. There's games against nationally ranked Louisville, USC left, and if Texas A&M keeps winning in the SEC, that opening victory for the Irish in College Station is going to continue to look better. So, obviously, I'm not projecting Marcus Freeman's team to win the rest of their games, but the opportunity is certainly there. Georgia Tech took one on the nose at Syracuse yesterday. That would have been a pretty good win for Notre Dame, but the rest of the schedule is manageable. But just be careful with next week's game against Purdue because.
All right, Logan, what's it like right now in South Bend? And is that a fair ranking right now, putting them still inside the top 20 after losing at home to Northern Illinois?
I mean, the sky's falling in South Bend, and it should, because you can't lose games like that. You didn't look good at all, and I have no hope for you guys in the future. I know they have, some big games that they can win, but they have no conference in football to win, to give them a bid or anything like that. So I think it's going to be really hard for them to get in. I think they're out the playoff. I just covered Army's game yesterday, and when you're facing these triple option teams are like 2-22 after playing Army. Like, you have Navy, Army, and then you're going to go to Army to USC. I don't know how you get out of those games. I think Notre Dame's season is over. I hate to kill the drama and speculation, but as a former player, and college football player, you can't afford to lose games like that. That derails your season.
Douzable, this is a coach that has lost to Marshall.
Yeah.
Now he loses to Northern Illinois. What the heck is going on there? I mean, they got talent, they get some big wins, and they've had some big wins, too. Yeah. Why are they so inconsistent?
Well, EK, they already had some concern going into this game, right? If you look at that Texas A&M game, it was Riley Leonard's legs that won them that game. It wasn't his arm, right? I knew that was going to be an emphasis point for Notre Dame. Could he be consistent throwing the football? And we saw yesterday versus Northern Illinois, he wasn't. And then that second interception was just god-awful. Just cover 3 defense. There's a deep third corner there, and it's like you didn't even see him. You just threw up a lollipop, and it gets picked off. So that was my concern for Notre Dame going into this season. I knew Riley Leonard was a competitor. This is the interception I'm talking about right here. He was late with the football, down the seam. The coordinator was in cover 3 defense. Easy interception for him, and that's what turned the tide and helped NIU win this game. So, to me, that's the biggest concern for this Notre Dame team, right? What are they going to get out of Riley Leonard, right? We know we're going to get out of him mobility-wise, and you see it on the screen. No touchdown passes, 2 interceptions. That was the cause of them losing this game. They haven't gotten enough consistency on offense. Even going back to the Texas A&M game, it was Notre Dame's defense that really won them that game, and then Riley Leonard's leg. So I think next week is a game of contention for them. Purdue, Hudson Card can spin the football. So if you can only put up 13 points, it's going to be hard to beat a Purdue team.
Let's get to Logan. Are you okay with Texas vaulting Ohio State and being right there settled in at number 2, sandwiched between Georgia and the Buckeyes?
I am, and I would make an argument they could be number 1. I mean, when you have Quinn Ewers, the number 1 pick in the draft, when you have that guy on your team fired up and you're coming out to Michigan, we know Michigan lost a lot, but they have a tradition there. They're a physical team. They're tough. And you take it to them like that, I haven't seen a team do that to Michigan in some years. So, well, Georgia did that, obviously. But I think that Texas has the best quarterback play in the country. I think they're building something over there. And I think this could be the top team in the country.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think he's the best quarterback player right now in the country. And you are right. No one's gone into the big house to Michigan in a long time. If you're looking at this, Brad, you see Texas right there. What did that win do for Texas, and what does that loss do for Michigan?
Yeah, to me, it showed me that the Longhorns are a legitimate national championship contender. They are who we thought they were. Consecutive weeks now, Colorado State in week 1, and now Michigan. Not only did Quinn Ewers ball out in Ann Arbor, but any kind of questions we had about Texas up front, that was answered. They dominated this game. Loaded with weapons on both sides of the ball. Texas is in that playoff hunt, undoubtedly. Now, Michigan looks like the 8-4 team that a lot of us thought the Wolverines could be. This was a show-me moment for Sharon Moore. His team struck out in a national spotlight, and I have questions right now at the quarterback spot for Michigan.
Good news for Michigan is it's not a conference game, and you take care of Penn State, and you take care of Ohio State, and, you don't have to go home until someone in your conference beats you, right? Lige, did that game say more to you about, same question I've asked you, other times. It's both. Is it more wow Texas or yuck Michigan?
I'm not going to say wow Texas, because this is the team I thought they would be. This kind of reminded me of when they went into Alabama and kicked the door down, laid up on their couch, made a plate, put their feet on their coffee table. That's exactly what the Longhorns did when they went up to Ann Arbor, right? The physicality battle was won in the trenches, and that's why I think a lot of people felt like they would have success in the SEC, because they're built to win up front with the offensive line. Logan alluded to it. Quinn Ewers, he was out of this world. Cool, calm, and collective. That pass to the tight end down the seam, evading the rush. This is it right here, stepping up, throwing an absolute dot down the seam. Like, cool, calm, collective in the pocket. Right now, to me, he is playing the best at the quarterback position. I think Cam Ward is right there behind him. But he has been so efficient with the ball. And you see the emotion. Like, this team is rallying around this guy. And when you look at the landscape of college football, to me, there's 3 teams that are separated from everybody else. Texas, Ohio State, and Georgia, right? And then you would say maybe Tennessee and Missouri kind of behind that. But those 3 teams are clear-cut favorites over everybody else in the nation.
Like Yogi Berra said, it's getting late early for teams like Michigan and Notre Dame off those losses. Well done, gentlemen, as always. Again, let's take a look at where we are. Here is your college football poll. Notre Dame falls to 18. Michigan falls to 17. Michigan loses at home to Texas. Notre Dame loses at home to Northern Illinois. So that's what happened. Now what will happen? We'll spin it ahead. The one thing you need to know about Week 3, that's coming next. I'm Eric Casillas. Yeah, Game Day Scoreboard.